Mate, well, welcome to our first Sunday session episode on Monday.
It's not often you get to have your first again, but this is this is something different that we've thought about throwing at the listeners just for a bit of extra info about how we feel after the Saturday of racing and where it all went wrong or where it all went right. Really,
Absolutely, that's exactly what this show's about. We were endeavouring to get these done on Sunday Arvo, Sunday nights. Last night was a bit difficult. I think you and I spoke to each other about 9 o'clock and realised that not only were we pretty tired, I think we were all kind of half pissed as well. So we thought we might just leave this for Monday. And I've got you up. Well, I haven't got you up very early. I know that you're always awake now with two children.
Mate,
one of them being
as a new father of two, the sleep. what is that?
Who needs it? Who needs it? But mate, look,
usually you've got me up at a time that I'm usually having my Monday morning out of Mog. That's the you're throwing me right. You're throwing me right out of routine.
Come on.
This is actually we could have done
Darren
it
Britt.
direct. You could have done it directly from the on assignment in my second office where the throne is.
Yeah, mate. The echo in there is not great for podcast or for audio. So I'm glad
I'll put egg boxes up. It'll knock the echo right out.
That'll be perfect. But no one wants to hear you sitting there talking about what winners you backed while you're on the crapper. But mate, we did. It was an interesting weekend. I think you and I went fairly similarly on the punt. For me, it wasn't a great weekend, although I found some winners. I think, was betting wide, was betting everywhere, was betting, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, mate. Can I take it away here? It's a bit of a case where I tipped a bag full of winners, but then punted stupid. I'm looking at my page from the podcast on last Wednesday night.
Yeah,
and it is full of winners and full of nice prices.
You tipped for Choose, and this is the prices that they went out at. I understand they started differently, but these are the prices that the podcast went out at. For Choose at $2.60, Wisdom Water $1.70. You said anchor that to every multi, which I think most people did. Vega Magic at $3.10 and Hightail at $5.50. So healthy return on a lot of those horses. Hightail was very impressive. I think we actually, between us, we tipped first,
fat result,
third and fourth. Yeah, it was. It was a good race, actually, that one at the Gold Coast. And that Fituce was super impressive.
But mate, so was Wisdom of Water. It was very, very exciting. It's a very exciting 2-year-old, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's the way where you go. You have a page full of winners.
Yeah.
And mate, I went against everything I knew. Usually, what do I always say to you? If you back the last winner, you should win for the day.
Yeah.
The only thing was I didn't have enough. Yeah, I didn't have enough money left in my account at 6:30 on a Saturday night to punt out of where I was.
The hole was too big.
Yeah, but looking at my bet statement and the results that I had through the day, it should have been a winning day.
Yeah,
the old when the best bet gets beat, and you are you're fully tied to it in a lot of your multis, and you've got I went again on it when it was holding firm at the price at $3.70. I thought, geez, this is just put in take out. It's gotten beat a nose by trekking. I think I half bagged trekking for missing that run last week.
You're talking about G-Tray.
I'm talking about G-Tray when it got beat by trekking.
Yeah, sorry.
By a nose, and I've talked myself out of trekking because it had missed the lead-up run.
Yeah.
So I pretty much put a line through the horse, and it's come out and pulled my pants right down.
Well, I think there we got second and third again. Like Behemoth, I think, came third or fourth. But that was a $15 shot that we're throwing at. The good thing that I'll take away from it, I mean, obviously we are tipping winners, and there was some value with the winners we tipped on the weekend, but I feel like our eyes in. I think we're going to have a big win at Carnival and even bigger Spring Carnival because, we are tipping quite a few horses, that are coming in close at really good odds, Scathing. Scathing was another one in that hightail race. I think it was Scathing that we tipped at 22s or 20,
$23.
$23, and that was looming on the inside. And I think that held on for third or fourth. So
we're close
to a big.
We had Exhilarates in that race as well. That was sevens into $4 favourite, and rocketed home for third.
Really interesting that betting around Exhilarates. We picked that out early, and I think that was actually nines in a lot of places on that Thursday morning when the
I'm only looking at one site that we won't name until they throw a bit of incentive to the boys.
There's a lot that we bagged early on, so I don't think there's certain ones you can name as long as you're bagging them. But no, it was I think we were in the same boat as a lot of punters this weekend.
Yeah, well, in saying that, mate, what about Sweet Scandal rocketing home and rocketing into second? I had multis attached to it that would have had me going on a nice holiday.
Well, everyone would have started with quite a bit of confidence as Wisdom of Water brained them at $1.70, kicking off everyone's multis.
Yeah, and the thing is, but that's where it doesn't fill your account with money, but you get a lot of those green ticks, when you go to your bet statement and you've had 500 multis and they all have, it's like a bloody page of ticks.
Off to that first start. So, what for you was Skytrade the most disappointing horse of the weekend?
Well, in saying that, if you owned it, you would probably say, geez, it's done everything right and it just hasn't gotten away with it. So,
but as a punter for
me, G-Tra was, mate, it just made me sad that it got beat on the post. Do you know what? I didn't even get the fun of waiting for the photo because Sky just put Trekking's number straight up. I thought I would at least get the suspense of
bastards.
What do you call it? Prolonged disappointment. Where it's
just feed it to me. Don't punch me right between the eyes with it.
Yeah, at least it would have given me that tiny bit of hope. Waiting for the photo and like that photo that the leg up posted on the site the other day where
Corindy
was. Yeah, I was hoping for a Corindy photo.
Yeah, where the outside looks like it's beaten him ahead and the inside got it.
Yeah, look, 3 meters behind it, the inside is still one. I was just really hoping for that. I'll tell you what else was a big disappointment for the day. Tuesday's Joy. Geez. Do you know what? If you got the time, go back and watch it. It was a real hack job, I think.
Yeah, right. Mate, for me, we talked it up and we talked the jockey up quite a lot the last couple of weeks, but I had quite a few multis going into Needorp in the last at the Gold Coast.
Me too.
And mate, if that wins, it's gone from not a bad day to a good day. It's gone from a bad day to an incredible day. Because the value stuck with it. I think it still jumped in the fours or maybe even came into 380 or something like that. But unfortunately for the jockey on that horse, who will never be named on this podcast again, we'll call him Voldemort. He didn't have a great day. It wasn't a bad ride on Needorp, but mate, I got to pen him. Too many chances.
He who shall not be named also got beat on a $1.50 thing on the sunny coast on Friday night. Not that I was tying it into all my multis on the Saturday. But
what horse are you talking about in Sunshine Coast?
It was in all red colours. I can't think of the name off the top of my head, mate.
I had quite a hefty thing on Populist. I thought.
Oh yes. This was after Populist. Populist still SP'd at 220. This was a $1.50 shot.
I love Populist. I talked myself out of Moani Machine on Friday night because I like Moani Machine as well at $6. But I thought, you know what I'll do? I'll put half my pot, Saturday's pot on, because we didn't have a great Friday, but I'll put half Saturday's pot on Populist and just get us off to Aurora. And
yeah.
I should have had half the pot on Moani Machine at $6.50, but
well, the laptop's still in bed, so I can't tell you the name of that horse at the sunny coast. But you know when you experience a big trauma and you forget? That's what happened.
Your body went into shock.
Yeah.
Hey,
So, yeah,
there's a lot
Okay.
going around about this Damien Oliver video. We put it up on the page, as did everybody else. We got sent the video quite early on. The video
Is it
that
stitch up or no stitch up?
it's a stitch up. They've come out and said it's a stitch up. Now, if the video that we shared, actually, the last chunk of it's been cut off. So I'm not, the bloke that sent it to us, who knows if he cut it off or anything. But apparently, if you watch it on other pages or on the websites, you whoever's filming it, as Ollie leaves, John Sadler, is that the trade Sadler, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He walks to the fence, like, as you know, pissed off from Ollie, and walks to the fence and kind of turns around and has a bit of a laugh. So it kind of, a lot of people saying it's a stitch up. But then he came out and said, look, that was just meant to be a funny one for the other jockeys, for the Caulfield jockeys. He said, so whatever. It's raised a lot of questions. And I don't need to go through it because most of the people on this podcast would have seen it. It's absolutely everywhere. But actually, no, I'll go through real quickly. Basically, B Hunter was the favourite in that race, the last race at Flemington. It wasn't Flemington, wasn't it? Because he did say the Caulfield jockeys, but basically Ollie got kind of boxed in, went really wide, stormed home late. B Hunter gets beaten, and it would have won if he had it in a better position earlier. I don't think it was that bad of a ride. But then a lot of people, it's the last race, a lot of people talking through their pockets. But then Sadler pulls him up and said, mate, you let him go around you. You can't effing win if you let him go around. You went too late. You're not riding any of my horses and get stuffed. And Ollie goes, oh, mate, come on. And he goes, no, F you, you know. And then he walks off and has a laugh. Now, broke the internet. It was a massive video. And they've come out and Sadler's come out since and said that it apparently was a stitch up. But, mate, this is just after the race. Ollie's still in B undercolours. The silks are still on. You can still see the horses in the background as they're just bringing them in and taking them in. Like, what if you're an owner of B Hunter? You and I have owned horses for many years together. But let's say you and I owned B Hunter. We would have had, we've got a Saturday horse that's favourite in the last race at Flemington. We would have had basically every cent we own on it. Pun responsibly. And then it gets beat. He gets stuck. Like I said, I didn't think the ride was that bad. I feel a lot of people talking out of their pocket in regards to he's a butcher, blah, blah, blah. He also rode another 2 or 3 winners that day. So just cool your jets.
Yeah, he was on fire.
Yeah. And B Hunter, geez, it would have brained him if he was out. The thing just came home like an absolute rocket. But how would you feel?
Is it, is the comedy version of it, would you call, is it satire?
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out.
A funny moment. But yeah, like it's just an odd time to put a skit on. Like
it's so early.
If you don't, mate, in the olden days, I remember Mum telling me that if the trainers thought or the owners thought it was a bad ride, they'd pummel the jockeys when they came back with abuse, and they'd really get stuck in, and jockeys would get sacked for bad rides. Not saying that I looked at it. It wasn't no Baron Vorster on Girl Tuesday. I'll tell you that.
Oh, far out.
But when a bloke like Ollie's on fire and makes a wrong decision or whatever, you've got to wear it, because 9.5 times out of 10, he's going to give it an outstanding ride. Like, I'm with you, mate. I think that there probably would have been a better time to do that. Maybe they could have sent through a recording of a phone call the next day after he'd spoken to the owners regarding the ride. And
look, you'd kind of, as a manager, you'd kind of gauge the reactions of the owners and see if it's worth putting something like that out. I don't think this falls on Ollie either. I think, and Sadler's a Group 1 winning trainer. Like, I can't.
It definitely wouldn't fall on Ollie.
And it hasn't. And if anything, it's it hasn't put him in the best light. I've looked. We've got. I think we put it up kind of, I don't know, Saturday night or something like that, we've had thousands of comments, and a lot of them are quite negative towards D. Oliver. And we've stood up for him and said, listen, stop talking out of your hip pockets. He had a great day. That ride was, question, but he could only do what he did. It's very easy when you're looking up down at the horses from 100 meters away where he should be going, not when he's on
also,
600 kilo horse that's, going 60 Ks an hour or 50 Ks an hour.
Yeah, and just steer it out of a gap. But, mate, it's very easy to compartmentalise a jockey with his rides and go, he's a butcher, he can't do it, blah, blah. That'd be like saying every time Andrew Johns missed a tackle, carving out, going, he's a reserve grader, drop him to reserve grade. It's like, mate, you just scored 4 tries.
Yeah, and that's...
Like, are we really going to carve him up because he makes one wrong decision? And I'm not saying the whole ride wasn't a bad ride. He just... the horse couldn't get out when it needed to get out. It's not... He can't throw the horse. He's not Willie Pike. You just can't throw the horse out into a gap.
A lot of comments about W. Pike as well in that thread, that I wish the trainers that put Pikey on their horses spoke to him like that. But I just thought it did no good for the jocks. I just think as an owner and as we don't know, I mean, a lot of jockeys. I don't have a lot of jockeys that are friends. I know them, but I just thought from an owner's point of view, which I can speak from, I'd be really disappointed. I wouldn't, it was straight after the race, so there's no way he could have gauged the reaction of the owners straight away. And for the jockey, I just don't think it painted in a good light. Like you said, you maybe one or two. Yeah, I agree. 1 or 2 mistakes, and you can speak to him like that. Like, mate, we were sitting there removing comments from Facebook going, it's just a jockey, break their effing legs. People, you're causing this stir up. I just thought it was,
mate.
Look, people loved the video, and this opinion that I have now is probably not going to be looked at well, but I just thought, wrong.
Wrong. Mate, I'll give you I was quite full when I watched the video, and I found it a good bit of lighthearted entertainment. I suppose when you look at the time it was filmed and that, you are probably right. But at the end of the day, there's been bigger crimes committed than releasing a video at the wrong time. And do you know what? I would rather them be putting out funny content like that than holding it back and thinking, am I going to offend anyone by doing this? So,
and look,
do you know what?
I suppose you're right.
As the owners, mate, they may have a heap of good horses, so it mightn't have worried them at all.
Yeah, absolutely. I just feel, and don't get me wrong,
you're a prude.
I'm frigid. I've had 30 hours to let it digest. It's not.
If I was there, I'd give you the frigid test.
Yeah. I hope that worked for people listening on podcasts what the frigid test is. But very. I liked that it was a stitch up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Mate, I suppose that's the other side of the coin. I like that it was a stitch up and it wasn't just an owner spraying a jock, but Yeah. Do
you know what? Well, mate, we'll leave it at that. It's great. It brings a great bit of banner to Monday. So it's done its job. It's a great bit of lighthearted banter on a Monday where no one has that strong of an opinion, or for us to have that strong an opinion on the, whether it should have been or shouldn't have been. That's exactly what a lighthearted video like that's meant to provoke.
Yeah, exactly.
All the gibbers that are out there, break his legs, all that sort of stuff. Do you know what? Mate, you're in the wrong sport. Go watch the UFC.
Yeah. So we got a little bit of AFL news.
What, really?
Have you not seen the this?
Oh,
Geelong?
I did see this. The stabbing.
We've had an AFL player stabbed in the chest. Jack Stevens.
In the chest, was it?
Yeah, he got stabbed in the chest. He so it came out about lunchtime yesterday. I think Saturday night he was admitted to hospital for a stabbing in the chest. And
oh shit! I thought you meant it happened at lunchtime yesterday. What an interesting time.
Yeah, Sunday lunch. Come around
in Melbourne.
Oh, look,
in Melbourne, Piccolo. No way.
That's not a double macchiato with almond froth.
That's about as hard as it gets in Melbourne, doesn't it?
Mate, don't you worry about Melbourne. That's where all the gang stuff goes on. Not saying this is gang related. We probably have to be careful with what we say to a certain extent. But yeah, it
sounded like you were saying it was gang related.
Well, mate, look, so it's starting to come out a little bit like that. So he's
really.
So Jack Stevens, hold on, he is not some, in a reserve or anything like that. He's no slouch. He was a 150 plus gamer at St Kilda. I think he was their captain. He has gone through quite a few mental illness issues. He's been since brought over to Geelong at the beginning of. I think this is his first season. Sorry, guys, if I sound like I'm not fully across the trade, but it's been an interesting year. But
can I just ask? Because I haven't heard of him as a player. Is he a player that has had depression issues, or is he a player that's been in a lot of trouble before?
A little bit of both. He stepped away from the game for depression, but yeah, he has been on record as saying that he's had mental illness problems outside of that as well. Now, this player turns up at a Geelong hospital with a stab wound to the chest, and there's not much more to it. But last night, when police went to speak to him for the second or third time, he refused to speak. So he refused to explain the situation or the scenario. And, he's, mate, snitches get stitches.
Oh, God. Mate. So
he's already got the stitches. I was well, may as well snitch.
Are we allowed to speculate? Can you speculate as to what may have went on?
No, I got no idea. I don't know, mate. Look, Geelong's, basically from what I know of Geelong, and I haven't been there for years, but mate, it's a laid-back kind of surfy town. It's kind of similar to the Gold Coast, but without the bikies, I suppose. But it's, I don't know. I've got no idea. It's just a really interesting situation that a player turns up stabbed.
Yeah, mate, it sounds like the NRL.
Yeah, but even that is, I'm not sure if even that happened. And it's not, we've had situations prior that, in some of the, I won't go into that. But yeah, we haven't had a situation like this, and especially even more of a twist where he's just said that he's not going to speak to police.
Well, they cut his tongue out.
No, just a stab, just a normal stabbing, no tongue cut.
Oh, okay.
So, but mate, that's the weekend that was. Thanks for joining me this early. Get you into work early. Geez, you weren't. It was rubber arms. It wasn't hard to twist your arm to, mate, do you want to get out of the house early and get this podcast? Yep. Okay. So,
when I heard podcast, I thought I could have a couple of beers, but
I know. Well, that's the plan next time.
AM.
That's the plan next time is we're going to get hopefully get a few Sunday sessions on. Hopefully we can get a few blokes on here as well, even if it's a few listeners to join us on this this Zoom platform and see how the weekend that was turned out for them.
Mate, lick your wounds, patch them up. Wednesday night, Thursday morning, the tips will come through and we can start all over again.
Exactly right, mate. So everyone have a good week and we'll speak to you a little bit later.
Cheers, boss.
Bye.